it's getting easier to go live on multiple platforms at once. So I am able to simply hit that go live button and start streaming basically. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now. So, I mean, if you just want to sit here and chill while I sort of get set up with everything that I need to do, that's totally fine. If that's, if that's how we want to do it. Yeah, I'm actually going to post it on the Patreon. I think including Patreon in sort of the posting strategy, I think that will help. And I gotta do a social media post. It is good to see everybody. You know, the last late night stream went so well, and it was just a really chill vibe that I thought I would do it again. And we have a bunch of updates today about the Microsoft layoffs, unfortunately. I'm going to get into those in 1 second. And I really like what I was able to do last time. I was able to do the stream, and then I posted the VOD from the stream that we recorded together, and people appreciated that because I did see some people complaining, not complaining, but like they're asking me to do VODs from the content. And I'm like, okay, like that sounds good to me. Hopefully at some point, everything gets to the point where I can just hire somebody to do the back end work, but I'm not anywhere close to being able to afford doing something like that right now. Yeah, got to be making some real currency to do that. Find ways to simplify your job with AI. Your company is already looking at it. The BMAX. I simplify a lot of the YouTube stuff, like tags and such, with it. It is helpful. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay. So I want to copy that, post that. I'll just post it over on Blue Sky. Why not? I don't use Blue Sky that much, but yeah, why not? Let's see what happens. I have been getting some good posts over there because it's Blue Sky's like pretty newsy for the most part. Like a lot of news people like to post over there, so I get a lot of news over there. Sorry, I just saw a post about the layoffs. It was just somebody criticizing the layoffs, which totally makes sense. A lot of people are talking about the Schreier report. We're going to be getting to that in just a second. I think I've posted everywhere. Yeah, we posted everywhere, so we can actually get the real stream started. Thanks, everybody. I do appreciate you hanging out. Let me figure out the best way to position everything here. Maybe move the stream window there. And yeah, you know what's really crazy though? People have enjoyed these, I would consider them rougher streams more than I think that they like the super polished streams. I'm not getting YouTube chat in my multi-chat for some reason. That one's, I mean, YouTube's kind of one of the important chats. Let's see what's going on here. Is it like breaking or something? Just going to do a quick test. This is the last thing I need to work. Okay. I saw some posts over on Twitch. Thank you if you're watching on Twitch. Test back. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to do one more thing. Commands. Where are my timers? No, this isn't the right one then. Well, I'll do the Nightbot later. I don't know what Nightbot I have in my chat right now, but it's posting my Patreon. How's everybody going this evening? We are just letting people roll in right now as I sort of set up everything that I'm trying to set up here. Let me just log out and I'll log back in with YouTube. And we will see if this ends up working. Let's see here. So what's Nightbot posting right now? It's posting, check out my Patreon for exclusive perks. That's for commands, but I want timers. Support Destin on Patreon. Okay, yeah. New timer. Okay, so we're gonna say we'll do this on every 10 minutes. Sorry, normally the starting soon screen would be up, but you want to see me sitting here typing, so for some reason. So this is what you've been missing out on. Commenters. All the commenters. It's like not me reading chat. It's not me being entertaining. It's me doing all the setup in the background and doing tweaks and such. So thank you if you're here hanging out. We're just letting people get into the seat, so to speak. And then Subjo's gameplay channel. All right, we'll just see if it works. So we got gameplay. Want to see Destin game? It's up to his gameplay channel here to watch him game regularly. Sure, whatever. My computer's making like the fans make this vibration. Okay, show's about to get started. Let's actually bring up the thing. They bought everything for the IP. Well, I guess we will see. Oh, hello, everybody. I see chat is working. Good to see everyone. So we tried a live late night stream last night, and we're going to do it again. I'm going to be recording some VODs and such so that I can VOD them out in the morning. And I just thought that we would do it in more of the live setting. You know, you guys were super supportive on the last stream. I really, really appreciated it. Diz Guy, good to see you over on Twitch. Luke, it's been a while. Good to see you. And I'm going to get to it. So I'm going to go into presenter mode, and then we will be back interacting with chat. So as the days have progressed, we have learned more and more about what happened over at Microsoft. There have been a lot of discussions and conversations about what this means for gaming, what this means for Microsoft, and the future of the company. One game we did learn more about is something called Project Blackbird. And that report is coming from Jason Schreier over at Bloomberg. Jason reports that Xbox executives were blown away by an upcoming game, then they canceled it. Now, I kind of wanted to talk about this one for a very specific reason, namely because some of the announcements yesterday kind of make sense. The Perfect Dark one makes like a little bit of sense in that we had been hearing for some time that there were issues with the Perfect Dark game. We saw Video Games Chronicle talk about how insiders were describing fast and furious exits from Xbox's Perfect Dark studio. As much as half of the core development team have quit in the past year. Initiative management says it's confident in its team. The Initiative Studio has seen a fast and furious wave of senior departures in the past 12 months. This was reported back in 2022. I remember making videos about this, and the game was going through a lot of issues. And the most damning thing was at the bottom, where you could actually see the overall impact of departures and just how many people had come to this studio, felt like it was directionless or not getting where it needed to be, and they decided to leave, and people would leave, people would come on. You know, that sort of churn is normal at a studio, but this one felt different. Interviews with multiple former senior developers cited a lack of creative autonomy and slow development progress as the reason for their departures. As described, The wave of exits is fast and furious, with project momentum said to be heavily affected. So I think there was writing on the wall that there were issues with Perfect Dark. I think it is strange that they would invest all that money to put together a trailer, which we now know is legitimate. It actually is using slices of actual gameplay mixed in with cutscenes and such to demonstrate what they were going for. And honestly, it looked really, really promising, but maybe it was too little too late after years of development turmoil. Now, also talking about Everwild, like I think we're all quite familiar that Everwild also had issues. Report: Everwild restarted from scratch. We're now aiming for 2024. Development now under new leadership. So Submit over at Polygon reported Xbox fans wondering why Rare's Everwild didn't show up at Sunday's E3 showcase now have an answer. The studio has completely rebooted the open world adventure game under a new creative director, and its release is multiple years away, reports VGC. Now, beyond that, Jeff Grubb a few years later would also say that it was in development hell. But if there's one game that I reported on a lot, and there was one VOD that I found the other day, it was Project Kestrel. And for the most part, this project seemed quite interesting. Back in the day, I reported that Project Kestrel was from ZeniMax creative director Ben Jones, who's spoken about it publicly. He has interviews, and I have an interview where I looked through that interview, and then I took excerpts from it and I talked about it. It's been in development for 5 to 6 years. 200 people were working on it in 2022, and it's an all-new IP. And we know that it was Quest-related, and now we have more reports from Jason Schreier. So let's dive into what that project actually looked like and was, because here's what he is reporting, actually, in his article. That Xbox executives were blown away, and that it didn't go down smoothly, to put it mildly. On Wednesday morning, employees at the video game maker ZeniMax Online Studio noticed something strange. The executive producer and creative director of their next big game, codenamed Blackbird, no longer had active accounts on their internal chat program, Slack. If you've never used Slack, the way it works is you can see a person's name, and then if their account's deactivated, it says deactivated next to their name. So, you know, something's going down or something weird has happened if that suddenly happens at your company. And obviously, over the last few days, apparently that has been happening a lot. We saw and discussed the posts from some employees who had talked about coming into work and not knowing if they had employment that day. Schreier continues on further down in the story. A day later, they got an answer. They were in job purgatory. Late last year, the staff had unionized, but they had not yet struck a contract. So Microsoft's lawyers had to negotiate with the union over potential severance packages for anyone who was losing their jobs. In the meantime, they would continue getting their paychecks and remain ZeniMax employees, the union told staff on Thursday. QA staff who had a separate union with an established contract received severance packages as mandated by the agreement. So there was a lot of people talking about the positive impact of unions for this exact reason. But given the fact that the CWA came out today and expressed disappointment for how Microsoft decided to handle this particular project, which, by the way, seemed like it was going quite well, and they were quite close to actually launching something, especially because they played it back in March. During the demonstration in March, Spencer was enjoying the game so much that Matt Booty, the head of Xbox Game Studios, had to pull the controller away so they could keep the meeting going, according to two people who were in the room. Now, Phil Spencer is a big Destiny player, or at least he was at one point. And the fact that Microsoft had something that was able to have quests and missions and a structure similar to Destiny, which Schreier also mentions in his reporting, is incredibly unfortunate to hear. I would have liked to see Xbox take a swing at that kind of game, and I would have liked to see the people who'd worked so hard on it actually see this through to completion. They continue on. Blackbird was a third-person online looter shooter, not unlike the popular game Destiny. Set within a new franchise, it had a sci-fi noir aesthetic similar to films like Blade Runner and placed a heavy emphasis on vertical movement. Players could use abilities such as double jumping, air dashing, a grappling hook, and wall climbing to fling themselves around tall buildings like superheroes. One of my favorite parts of the Halo franchise and the Halo game was actually using the grapple hook to go all over the place on maps and in multiplayer. It's a big reason why I kept playing the game. So I could see something like that, having that 5 seconds of fun that you find yourself playing over and over again. Jason says, I saw footage of the vertical slice last night and was impressed. Please let me see this game. If somebody has a vertical slice, I don't have to talk about it. I don't have to say anything about it. I've been covering this game for like 3 years, not realizing it. Apparently, it was the Project Kestrel I talked about the other day. They just renamed it to Blackbird because Xbox... Oh, hold up. They changed the name in this story that Jason reports because they like Kestrel so much that that's what they wanted to name the game. Xbox executives were also blown away when they played Blackbird in March, according to people familiar with the game's development. Executives had nothing but complimentary words for the project. Now, I can appreciate that the game was canceled. We talked yesterday about Matt Furor, who was the studio boss and director. He immediately tendered his resignation when this happened. And nobody really got a good explanation as to why this particular project was canceled. It's unfortunate. When you look at Perfect Dark was having a lot of development issues. Everwild was having a lot of development issues. But this game is from a studio that's profitable. This is from the team that made Elder Scrolls Online. This is from a very profitable team that makes games that people find themselves getting lost in. And if they were going to make a sci-fi type game with a Destiny vibe, I would argue there's not a lot in the market competing with it. So something was going on that made them pull the plug on this one. And it's a bit unfortunate. So, chat, that's the part that will probably go live with an outro on it. But I don't have a ton to add to that story beyond that. That's what happened. It was big. I think they had expanded to 300 people. ESO was still going along. But I'm not sure what happened with this particular project. The others two do make sense. But then beyond that, there have been a lot of conversations about why this would happen. Like why all of a sudden out of nowhere, Microsoft would come along and just sort of cancel this thing. Good to see you, everybody on X, by the way, everybody on Twitch, wherever you're watching. Thank you so much for watching one of these late night streams. I do appreciate it. I appreciate you hanging out. Every once in a while, I will record like a little VOD. Hopefully it works out. Yeah, and we have a pretty healthy amount of concurrent viewers. So thank you for joining me and watching the stream. I'm trying to find a link to something that I wanted to talk about in the stream today. These are the days that are really, really easy because we know that, well, easy to have things to talk about because there's lots of news happening. Not easy because a lot of people's lives have been negatively impacted. So, yeah. Games Media told us $80 games were great. Games Media, I mean, like, I don't know who you talking about. No, I don't. Show me a link where somebody's like $80 games are great. I don't. I don't agree with that. Destin is one of the biggest supporters of the ABK deal. Are these layoffs surprising to you? We sort of talked about that yesterday. Any opinion I have on the Activision Blizzard deal or had earlier, it has no impact on what Microsoft's doing. That's actually a really good segue into the next story. So the next story I was going to talk about was why this is happening. So we've been talking a lot about the Microsoft layoffs, and we have a few more details about what's going on at Microsoft and why this might be happening. There was this report from seattletimes.com where they discuss Microsoft laying off about 9,000 employees in the latest round of layoffs. We're going to get into the Seattle Times story in just a second, but industry analyst Matt Piscatella chimed in with some interesting thoughts I wanted to go over first, because when you start diving into it, it's a little confusing. Even Phil Spencer in his memo says that they were doing great. They were having more players than ever before, and that they're doing well. So why have this happen? Here's what Matt said. Over the past 24 hours, I've received the "what does this mean for gaming" question on everything that happened yesterday. It's still happening today. It's been very tough to answer. The players and engagement are there. The revenues are there. This isn't a demand problem. Sure, there are nuances in the weeds, of course. Yes, the big live service behemoths taking so much wind out of the rest of the market is a huge challenge, as are the pressures, particularly impacting younger players that are funneling them into free-to-play and more easily accessible games, as are looks at every and any other issue one could mention. But it's not a demand problem. What is so crushing and what makes one throw one's hands in the air is that the cuts were reportedly primarily done to help fund building AI infrastructure. There's no reasoning out some big takeaway on what this means for gaming here. This is something else. And perhaps the reporting is wrong. Maybe this wasn't the primary reason. In any case, it's incredibly difficult not to fall into despair for the industry, but the players and demand remain. People love video games, and there are billions of players worldwide. The opportunity remains. So he's talking about how it's frustrating that AI is impacting this. And he links out to the Seattle Times article. Now, I thought originally that he was corroborating what Seattle Times is reporting, but no, Seattle Times just has a really, really solid story over here. So let's talk about this really quick. I read the story already. There were some choice quotes that I wanted to discuss on this evening, today, whenever you're watching this. As Microsoft cuts corporate ranks, the company is investing heavily in AI. Microsoft's push in AI doesn't mean the company is replacing workers with the technology. Rather, the significant cost of building out the infrastructure over multiple years has Microsoft looking to trim costs where it can. During the company's 2025 fiscal year, which ended Monday, Microsoft said it planned to spend more than $80 billion on infrastructure to meet AI demands. That's a $25 billion increase in capital expenditures from the company's 2024 fiscal year. So you have to remember that that is an increase in expenditure from years when they spent lots and lots of money. So they bought all those companies, and now they're saying, we are going all in on AI. The article talks about how Satya Nadella, with a few keystrokes, is able to have AI write a bunch of code that just creates things quickly. I think AI is accelerating things quite quickly. I do wonder if Microsoft is setting themselves up for major problems shortly down the line if AI is doing code poorly or the code's going to need to be cleaned up, because they're getting rid of lots and lots of people very, very quickly. But it does make more sense, at least. I still don't like it. Microsoft doesn't deserve any kudos, but the fact that they're investing $80 billion in AI makes more sense for the Project Blackbird layoff, which I talked about, than it does to just shut down a project that otherwise seems to be going well. The story continues on. Microsoft's layoffs come after one of the best quarters ever, when it reported almost $26 billion in profit on $70 billion in revenue for January through March, handily beating Wall Street estimates. Yeah, don't forget, their stock's like at all-time highs right now. The company's value also surged over the past few months, helping it overtake Apple as the world's most valuable company. NVIDIA, a computer chip maker that's fueled the AI race, took the top spot in early June. These layoffs are unusual in the longer history of American business, O'Mara said. Oh, this person is a business history expert, and she seems shocked by it herself. She is a University of Washington historian. These layoffs are unusual in the longer history of American business, O'Mara said. When you see thousands of workers laid off, it's been deindustrialization or companies in crisis. But these tech companies are the most valuable in human history. So they have more money than any company has ever had in human history. That's crazy. So this isn't about them suffering. This is about them having so much vast wealth that they want to invest it in crazy technological things like AI versus people. If AI is the centerpiece of what Microsoft and these companies are doing, then what it needs to buy is GPUs and data centers, O'Mara says. It might invest in people, but maybe instead of hiring 10 middle managers, Microsoft is hiring one extremely expensive AI specialist. Microsoft's CFO, Amy Hood, you remember Amy Hood? She always talks about the console sales going down. She hinted at the restructuring during the company's earnings call April 30th when addressing the company's margins, Hood said. Microsoft was focused on building high-performing teams and increasing our agility by reducing layers of management. And that is via the Seattle Times. The thing is, they actually did studies to see if management was impacted. And it wasn't nearly as impacted as people thought it was. And some people have been pointing out that they're still hiring. And they said that you'll get top pick for the internal positions. Yeah, but like, is it at a pay cut? Is it a different job? Why, like, if you're going all in on AI, why not move people into AI jobs or whatever? Like, I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But the idea that they want to focus all in on AI versus a huge MMO and Xbox is getting pinched because of it, that makes more sense to me than unceremoniously canceling these games and just having layoffs at almost every company. They even had a lot of partner games shut down. John Romero posted the following. John Romero said, "These people are the best people I've ever worked with, and I'm sorry to say that our game and studio were also impacted." So this is from Romero Games Limited. So we have some difficult news to share. Last night we learned that our publisher has canceled funding for our game along with several other unannounced projects at other studios. It was a strategic decision made at a high level within the publisher, well above our visibility or control. We deeply wish there had been anything we could have done to prevent this outcome. This absolutely isn't a reflection of our team's work, performance, or the quality of the project itself. We hit every milestone on time, every time consistently, received high praise, and easily passed all our internal gates. We are incredibly proud of the work being done and of the talented team behind it, the best we've worked with. We're currently evaluating next steps and working quickly to support our team. Many of us have worked together for more than a decade, some over 20 years. It's an extremely difficult day, and we're heartbroken that it's come to this. If you know of any opportunities or ways you can help our incredible team, please reach out. Thank you to everyone who's offered support and kindness and encouragement during this difficult time. So that's another example of just something unceremoniously being canceled. Now, as of this evening, Windows Central is reporting that the Hideo Kojima game, we've been playing Death Stranding 2 over here on the Destin channel in the evenings. You can check out my gameplay channel if you like. Anyway, OD is not affected by this. Jez Corden over at Windows Central reports, I've seen some speculation online that this game may also have been hit by the cutbacks, but according to our sources, that isn't the case, at least for now. So, I mean, time will tell on that one. I don't feel super confident about much of anything right now. Like, even though Jez is reporting it, I'm just like, I mean, we'll see. However, Kojima's basically doing everything. So maybe there's some small solace to take in that. Anyway, yeah, those were the two big stories that I wanted to talk about tonight. And I was just going to record the videos, but I'm like, well, I'll just go live again. Destin, why did you delete your Xbox Future is Bright video? I think the future is going to be interesting, but I mean, obviously the timing was poor about when that video released. That video is a VOD from Sunday's stream, and it's about the Xbox handheld and why I think it's interesting and how I think it's a lot of the behavior that I see online is very weird. Destin, you look tired. You need some sleep. I always look tired, but thank you. Nunya. Nunya. I appreciate that very much. I will take it under consideration. I wanted to stream tonight and I wanted to record some VODs. I figured I'd hang out with y'all because y'all have been great. And seemingly enjoying these late night streams. They get some, like, I'm pretty happy with 468 people watching on YouTube. Plus I'm also broadcasting on like a bunch of different platforms. Do we know the price yet for the Xbox handheld? The estimate is $499 to $799. Oh yeah, and then there was the news about Helldivers 2. I mean, I did a whole video about that. But yeah. Today I heard someone on a podcast refer to Rematch $30 as an expensive game. So depressing. Yeah, I mean, we've been trained. Hey D-Rock, good to see you. We've been trained to get everything for free or for cheap. And I think Microsoft's the only one really doing that still. I know there are a lot of purists out there who really like the console exclusive experience. I think PlayStation purists really, really like that. I like that too. Like, I'm enjoying Death Stranding on the console. If I had the option, I would play it on PC though every time. But yeah. Perfect Dark canceled and all the layoffs aren't cool. I mean, yeah, obviously that's accurate. Yes. Can you blame pay to win as part of the issue? I'm not sure about that. That makes it worth it to stay subscribed to Game Pass. I think I missed context there. I'm not a fan of 1+ year old games releasing at full price. Yeah, that's not great either. I also, I had a good conversation with the guy over at Larian, Michael Dowse, I think is his name. And we talked about how we feel about that. Yeah, see, the alerts are coming at the same time. I want them to come at different timing. I normally do that off air. Some interesting news. We did learn that Anthem is shutting down. We'll go to Gene Park because I know Gene. So Anthem will be completely unplayable. If you missed it, EA is shutting down the Anthem servers on January 12th, 2026. After this date, the game will no longer be playable. How long will I have to play Anthem? Basically, they're just shutting down servers in 2026. Why can't I play Anthem in offline mode? Anthem was designed to be an online only title, so once servers go offline, the game will no longer be playable. Thank goodness we just got the signatures on Stop Killing Games, because maybe this is going to stop. And here's the thing about all these layoffs and industry changes and everything. I said 2 years back that we are going to go through a big reset point in the near future just for the industry. And that's what a lot of this is. There's going to be a lot of changes over the next few years, and I think it's going to be a very unfun time. I have to worry about this Anthem news, though. Just sort of going back to Anthem for a second. I have to worry about this Anthem news because it makes me wonder if BioWare is actually in deeper shit than we thought. The whole Stop Killing Games thing, the guy like shut down his studio, right? If you're talking about Pirate Software had a very aggressive stance against the guy who made the video about people getting to keep the games that they own in some capacity. Like Anthem here. So yeah, he left the studio he was at. He said his games were getting review bombed. And I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't get really to dive into it, but that's what he was claiming. So he was claiming that his games were getting review bombed. That's everything that I have about the status of everything. There was a very long post about Perfect Dark. Oh, did I miss any super chats? Stop supporting live service slot. Thank you for the $2 super chat, Red Eye Dragon. I don't really know what to say. Dojo Dreamers with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Destin, keep doing the great work. Thank you, Diz Guy. I'm so glad I got this app. It's so helpful. I don't miss super chats and stuff. 5280. What's happening? They are purging all the Karens who care about ideology rather than quality gaming. It's going to continue. I don't think that's the case. I think it's way bigger than targeting any specific type of employee. So, yeah, you know, I don't think that's the case. Like if you have this Project Blackbird and they just fire the whole team, I don't think that's targeting Karens, you know? So yeah, I just don't think that's accurate. I am a little tired, actually. The AI replacing jobs is a myth. No, it's not, dude. It's absolutely not. The types of jobs will shift. I think that's what's going to happen, right? I read X chat, Lord. Here's what Lord No Face says. He said, it's just sad to see what happens when big company buy out great studios and chop blocks them, except for Game Pass, which might not be making as much money. I don't think he reads X chat. This is what sucks about buying something you don't own. Yup. Yeah, I do read X chat. I kind of have it like X is a little tricky to position on my screen because I have sort of like limited screen space and I like to look at my OBS window when I'm doing everything. So yeah, but I do check it. I try and check it as often as I can. Yeah, so here's the thing. I know all of this is bad. But at the end of the day, the guy who owned the company he bought, Bobby Kotick, love him or hate him, he wanted to sell the company that he bought and he wanted to get out. And he sold it to the people who gave him the most money. And it was Microsoft. And all the people who worked for the guy who wanted to sell the company agreed to sell the company at the price that they sold it for. So I don't like, what do you think would be the alternative? That people that want to sell their business should be prevented from doing so. So Bungie, when they were 45% behind on their revenue, should have been prevented from allowing Sony to purchase them and create that contract. Like, it would be the same argument, right? The Sony deal with Bungie saved Bungie, according to Bungie. Former Bungie employees, I think, said that. So I think there's a lot of people out there, and I'm just another guy out there too, giving my take on the whole situation, who are like, you shouldn't be allowed to do this. The FTC tried to sue them, and their case was so piss poor that it didn't happen. The FTC had the worst case out of anybody who had a case against them. I would argue that the cloud argument that they had in the UK and EU, that was a very strong case, and the whole thing almost got shut down because of it. It wasn't because they were, and let's be clear here, it wasn't because they were worried about the employees. It wasn't because they were like, oh, this is going to have a negative effect on the games. I mean, the FTC tried to argue that, but they couldn't prove it. It was because they thought they would have a monopoly in the cloud sector. So at the end of the day, one big company wanted to sell to another big company, and the FTC relied largely on another big company saying that the bigger company with a smaller market share, like, their case was just whack. Their case was whack. And I remember when I was covering it, I'm like, why don't you actually focus on the employees more? Like, why don't you talk about like how this would have a negative impact on companies or something? Like, it was so weird that they went to a person with a vested interest in the business falling apart, the deal falling apart, as their main person to go to. So yeah, like, when I think about it, it's hard for me to, like, I'm not like, I get called out consistently about the Activision case, but it's just like, I mean, they did it by the book. Every legislative body allowed it to pass. Expedition 33 was made by 30 people. I think that's a separate topic, Francisco. So there is the separate topic to discuss about, are development teams too big? Are games too expensive? I think the $80 price point is going to bite a lot of companies in the butt. I think they've gotten caught with their hand in the cookie jar, so to speak. And they're like, oh, but like, look how expensive it is to make games right now. They're not that expensive in Japan. They're only that expensive in the Western market. So maybe the problem's with the Western market and not necessarily with how much gamers are willing to pay you for a game. I do not agree with the premise that your $150 million development budget also needs $150 million in marketing for a chance of success, bringing your total spend to $300 million. I do not agree with that narrative. Especially when a development team out of France making Expedition 33 can be a Game of the Year contender. 33 people. 33 people. GTA 6 and Rockstar Games costing $100. We actually don't know how much GTA 6 is going to cost yet. It could cost $100. Mecha Break is free, isn't it? Like a boss? Yeah, Mecha Break is free. So I think there are a lot of people who have very big voices in the games industry who try to tell you that games need to cost $100. I don't think so. I don't think that's right. And I think that's a price point, especially right now, that a lot of people are going to look at and just say, nope, I'll play Fortnite. I'll play Roblox. I'll play whatever other game that isn't $100 comes along, or I'll buy. we're going to go back to people buying like one game a year. People still do that. Like everybody will buy GTA and they'll just play that for 5 years. So, yeah, I think that's going to be a problem. I guess we could talk about this next one, but somebody did sort of spill the tea about the Perfect Dark thing. There's this guy over on Blue Sky. His name's Adam McDonald. And he said the following: this demo, it is actually in engine. I was one of 3 level designers that worked on it. It worked best if you played it the way the person playing in the video plays it, but it still worked even if you didn't hit the marks perfectly. There's some fake stuff in it, and the real gameplay system shown off worked just enough to look good in this video. We were rapidly making real design decisions so as to not knowingly lie to players about what the game will be. The parkour is all real. The hacking/deception is mostly real. The combat is real in that someone had to really do all that stuff in the video, but it's set up to be played exactly that way and didn't play well if you played it a different way. I'm seeing big controversy over this whole thing was fake and it's annoying me, so I wanted to say something. Now, in a separate post, he does talk about the fact that there was turmoil at the studio, and we talked earlier on the stream about how insiders describe Fast and Furious exit from Xbox's Perfect Dark studio. And you can see down here, like all the people that joined and left. Basically, if you watch the original video for Perfect Dark, like 5 years in that project, all those people were gone. Apparently I missed some super chats. Thanks for the heads up. Danny says, I think Everwild and Perfect Dark cancellations seem like they already lost too much money and the game were coming along 7 years in development. Yeah. I think those two are easier to rationalize in our brain. Okay, so you worked on Perfect Dark for how long and you have nothing to show for it? And we built a studio, the quadruple A studio and all that. Yeah, we can take a loss on that one. And then the Everwild, which was rebooted and in development hell, and we haven't seen anything for it. Everwild was always going to be a niche title. Like that one, like the Polygon article says, check this out. The Polygon article says, report Everwild restarted from scratch. Rare is now aiming for 2024, reported in 2021. So like in 2021, they were reporting that Everwild's in trouble. That shit should have been shut down. Like, no offense to Rare or anything, but if your game, well, it's like that's right when COVID started, right? So if he reported that in June, when was COVID? Was it 2021? It's 2021, right? Help Daniel. Daniel's 4. Yeah, Daniel in 2021. Yeah. So it was 2020 COVID started. 2021 was like the height of COVID. Yeah. U of M student. What's that about, Solar? So yeah. And then the Seattle Times article really, to me, just makes things make sense. They talk about, I highlighted one of these things, like, I remember during that earnings call talking about the earnings and hearing this line, I'm like, uh-oh. That means they're probably going to have layoffs again, right? When addressing the company's margins, Hood said Microsoft was focused on building high-performing teams and increasing our agility by reducing layers. And then she reported that the consoles aren't selling and that you can expect that again next quarter. So, yeah. And it's just crazy to see it. During the company's 2025 fiscal year, which ended Monday, Microsoft said it planned to spend more than $80 billion on infrastructure to meet AI demands. That's a $25 billion increase in capital expenditures from the company's 2024 fiscal year. So it's just like it's not getting better. Concord had a butterfly effect on the rest of the industry. Lots of publishers don't want to take risks because of it. Honestly, if you had a game and you got 100 million into it already, and you know it's going to take 200 million more to launch it, just to launch it, and then you're going to have to spend 100 million a year to support it, and you see what happened with Concord or Marathon comes out, super limited alpha, it pops off for a day, and then it craters. That's concerning. So, yeah. Good to see you, Anonymous. Diz Guy says, do you think Xbox handheld will eventually have PlayStation Store? I don't know. People want me to talk about Helldivers. I made a video about it, but we can talk about it if you want. Let me see if I can find... Oh, I like this one. So I wanted to show something that I thought was sort of nice. And I kind of like this. I just did it really quick in Photoshop. And I think it's kind of nice that PlayStation gamers and Xbox gamers are going to get to play together, you know? And PC gamers, like everybody's going to get to play together. So I think it's cool. And there's this cool hug emote. Like if you haven't had the chance to play Helldivers yet, I'm really, really excited for y'all to get to play it. And like, I'm happy when, like, look, I'm an Xbox fan, but I think you all know that I primarily play on PC. So for me, I'm just like, yeah, it's pretty cool that more people get to play Helldivers 2. I like that a lot. I think that's cool. I like that more people get to play Gears. A lot of people also call it the fact that they were like, oh, you were saying something about making all games exclusive, right? My take on that, to be extra clear, was that I think if Xbox made games exclusive, as PlayStation makes games exclusive, it would force Sony and Xbox to compete harder. Sony would have to compete more for services and content, and Xbox would have to compete harder for services and content. Obviously, that didn't happen, and I think we're better for it. In hindsight, the idea of Call of Duty going console exclusive is not a good idea. It's not a good idea. It would have been wild if it happened. But you got to remember, like, those videos are from 2020, 2021. The deal closed in 2023. Yeah, it was announced in 2021, right? So I would have been talking about that in 2021. Yeah, it would have pissed a lot of people off, but more importantly, it would have pissed off their investors. Out of topic, but I had 2 daughters. The younger is 5 years old. I'm so happy that yesterday our boy came. Oh, congrats, Danny. That's awesome. Danny just had a boy, everybody. Danny, you need to sleep, my friend. I have 2, man, and it's hard. Like, you know, they've been great most nights. Tonight was one of those nights where bedtime was really tough. So that just kind of like, it's like a kick in the nuts, right? Literally sometimes. But anyway, yeah. I think I covered off on everything that I had for content for that stuff today. And okay. So I'm going to open it up to anybody who just wants to chat right now. We can just hang out and chat. Like a Boss asks, is Phil Spencer actually retiring? What are the actual facts? I believe the COO or something came out and said this is made up. This isn't true. So no, Phil Spencer isn't retiring. There's nothing to indicate he's retiring or when he will retire. It's complete nonsense. So it's totally debunked. And it was debunked by like the main guy, like one of the main higher ups at at Microsoft. So no. Yeah, John Romero's next FPS has lost funding too. We just covered that, Bob. So we talked about the John Romero post. What have you picked up from your Steam wish list during the sales? I didn't get anything, man. I'm just going to play Death Stranding 2. There's too many games out. There's just too many games, just generally speaking. There's so many good games right now, and it's really, really hard to keep up with everything going on all the time. Here are my plans. I want to finish Death Stranding 2 and do a really nice review for it. Like whatever I end up thinking of it, I'll tell you right now, I'm liking it a lot. Like spoiler warning, I did my review in progress and I'm like, oh wow, there's a lot of really, really great improvements here. I'm liking this. So yeah. Do you think OD and Contraband will make it? Jez Corden is reporting that OD is fine. Apparently somebody said this. I don't know if it's true. Let's debunk it together. We're going to go to Xbox or YouTube. YouTube.com/Xbox. Let's look for Contraband. Let's spell Contraband correctly. Uh-oh. I'm not seeing it. What is with all these weird search results? What the hell is going on? So the IGN video is still up. It's from 4 years ago. Xbox International Trailers still has Contraband. Is this an official channel? I don't think that's the official channel. Yeah, I think they pulled it. Yeah, so confirmed. Xbox pulled the Contraband trailer. I think Contraband's done. Contraband was like a partner game from the people who made Just Cause, if I remember right. I mean, Xbox.com still has Contraband, the website, up for whatever that's worth, but there's no asset associated with it. Uh-oh. So in the search results, Contraband Archives shows up. Why does it say archives? It could be because of expired license. I mean, maybe. Contraband YouTube video. So it's been set to private. Yeah, they pulled it. They pulled it. I think Contraband's done. I mean, like with everything else that's going on. I mean, I'm glad we did this. It's gone, you guys. I would just buckle up for somebody to confirm this in the coming days. Can I like email them? News, press, assets, contact. Please visit our press room. All right, choose department. Press and PR name. I'm gonna do this. What should we write? Hi there. I'm writing. It is, hi there. I'm writing to inquire as to the status of contraband. It's been noticed that the trailer has been made private. It has some wondering if the game has been put on hiatus. What's the nice way to say canceled? Hiatus, right? Would you be able to provide a comment? Thank you kindly. Thank you kindly, and I hope you're well. Hi there, I'm writing to inquire as to the status of contraband. It has been noticed that the trailer has been made private, and it has some wondering if the game has been put on hiatus. Would you be able to provide a comment or update? Update? Thank you kindly, and I hope you're well. I'll just say thank you. It's like too formal for a chat form. Submit. So they're in Stockholm, apparently. What time is it in Stockholm? It's right in the morning. So like they might get the email right now. Live journalisming in 11:30 Pacific time. Go Destin. I mean, like, I wonder how many people actually do this. Like, this is how I've always done it, right? Just ask. You always just ask the question, hey, can you provide a comment on why your trailer's been removed from your website? Like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? They're going to say no. No comment. Yeah, I'm hoping like holiday weekend, I mean, in America, they're going to block me from using the form. Like, I used to work in communications. The good PR folks respond quickly. Yeah, man. Yeah, BMax. They'll respond and be like, hey, we don't have anything to say at this time. Like, that's the worst that you would ever get, really. They'll just say, hey, we can't comment right now. I've called places before. Like, you just call them. It's like, hey, my name's Destin Legary. I'm just looking for, the correct person to reach out to about being put on your press list. You know who I did that with recently? I just did that with Konami. Because, like, Jay Bohr doesn't work at Konami anymore. And he was like, everybody knows Jay if you've worked in the industry a long time. And, like, I think he's, like, been on stage at a bunch of events and stuff. So you might have heard the name before. But, like, I didn't know who to reach out to. So I just called them. I just said, hey, Konami front desk, this is Destin Legary. If you could give me a phone call back, because like for a while there, they like weren't doing anything with games, but now they have Metal Gear Delta right around the corner. And if you know me, I am a huge Metal Gear fan. I don't know like all the lore and everything. I just really like the games. I think the games are very fun, and I think they're great games. So I just called them, and then they put me in touch with the appropriate person. Yeah, like with one of those things, you pick it up, and then you do the rotary dial. It goes. It's kidding. You should bring Tim Dog on, says Nate Dog. Why? Tim Dog's like doing his own thing, man. I don't think he wants to hang out and stream with me. People think Tim Dog and like I have a beef or something like that. Tim Dog's never. I was confused when he did that. He's like, delete your account if I'm wrong, and I'm like, I didn't say you were wrong. Like, I don't know why why you want me to do this. Oh yeah, and then I wanted to watch MBG. I'm like, what does MBG think about this Helldriver stuff? I think it's kind of cool, and I'm pretty sure I am shadow banned in MBG's chat because nobody commented on the fact that I was there, and I'm like, that's a little weird. So whatever, yeah. And like, I wasn't trolling or anything like that. I was actually agreeing with whatever he was saying at the moment. And yeah, I was like, okay, whatever. I've been subbed to MBG for years. When I was in San Francisco, he was one of the first people I reached out to, and I said, "Hey, like I lean more as an Xbox fan. I see you're more of a PlayStation fan. Would you be interested in doing like a conversation show where like you represent the Xbox, the PlayStation fan base and the Xbox fan, and I do the Xbox fan base?" And obviously it didn't work out. So yeah, I think he just politely said no, but that was it. But yeah, I don't have an issue. I don't have any issue with MBG. I think there was one time he said something and I'm like, what are you even talking about, dude? Like, yeah. Yeah, there was one time on social media he just said something and I'm like, what are you talking about? Tim Dog used to be a big Xbox fan. Like, look, if you stop being an Xbox fan over these layoffs, I totally get it. And like, I'm not the type of person that like I like everyone. Yeah, I always reach out, Maddie. He used a huge Xbox, then switched sides. He was a huge Xbox fan. I don't know a lot about the MBG lore, you know. I just know he covers PlayStation, you know, regularly. Well, I mean, lately he's a lot of Xbox coverage. Xbox MBG used to be an Xbox fan. I mean, that's fine, dude. If he likes Xbox, that's up to him. And the real sad thing is, so we just went through all these layoffs with Microsoft, not we, but like coverage wise, we, you and I, whoever is hearing this right now, we were talking about the layoffs and everything that's happened with Microsoft and Xbox. And the sad thing is, I think that we will see more of this and it's going to go the other way. PlayStation fans were like, obviously the bad actors, they were being very gross, I think, about the layoff thing. And what's really unfortunate is PlayStation's going to go through the same thing probably. Like if Marathon doesn't work out, they're going to have layoffs, and it's going to be the same thing the other way. Weird, never heard of him, but I mostly only watch two streamers, and Destin is one. Well, thank you, Full. I appreciate it. MBG keeps it real though. He calls out PlayStation. That's good. I watch him every once in a while, like during big news beats like this. I like to hear what a lot of people say. Hugs from Brazil. Ah, thanks, AB. Appreciate it. It's like I'll listen to MBG, I'll listen to Alex, I'll listen to Paris, I'll listen to Kind of Funny, I'll watch the Asmongold clip. I will watch Hassan doesn't even talk about games anymore. Like I don't care about that sort of stuff so much. I really don't. I just want to hear what your thoughts are on gaming. And I kind of like, I'll listen to everybody and everybody from all sorts of backgrounds and what they think. And then I parse it and then I make my determination about how I feel. And in terms of like studios and things like that, if there's a news story, like if there's a big news story and there is a document, I can go like the bill thing that passed today. I went and I actually read the bill in Congress. I'm just like that, man, because I don't want to know what your opinion on it is. I want to read the thing and how it actually affects things, you know? I think I think I'm getting old, you guys. I think I'm getting old. Oh no. I read stuff. I don't just let people tell me how to think. Yeah, and on the bill, like I don't really understand what's happening. Like I'm not a huge politics guy. So yeah, I don't really, a lot of people seem to think it's really bad. Like even people who are Republicans and people who are more on the Democrat side. No, I didn't read it. So I watched, what's his name? Hutch. So Hutch, he's like, he's sort of a political streamer. And he said that Snap is going to be impacted. And I was like, how's Snap going to be impacted? And like he wasn't answering me. So I'm like, I'm gonna go read it. And then I read the snap section. I don't know, like I gotta stop. But anyway, that's what I did. Media bias is favoring Nintendo again. Red Eyed Dragon. This isn't Red Eyed Dragoon. Okay. This isn't like the Red Eyed Dragon, is it? I'd be very surprised to see that guy in my chat, but okay. FEMA in Section 8 also getting cut. I don't know what's in the bill. So, yeah. MBG wants war. MBG, like, if you watch the stream today, he seems like he wants to stop making content. Like, I was like, you're going to stop making content over Helldivers? Like, I was sort of confused by the reaction, you know? Hospitals. Well, okay. I don't want to become a political streamer. I'm just going to say it right now. I don't want to do politics. Like, I sorry I even brought it up. Like, I was just using it as an example because, like, during the FTC trial, for example, I wanted to read the FTC documents for myself so that I could interpret them for you all and tell you like my read on it, right? So when I watched my friend Hutch, well, not really friend, but I know Hutch because we did something together at IGN or something at one point, and I watched his show and he was talking about it. So then I was like, oh, what's going on here? And then it's trending on Twitter and everything. Like, obviously I saw it, but I don't really know what the hell is going on with it. So anyway, didn't mean to make the stream like political or whatever. I really don't want to make anything about the stream political. I try and keep that out of, like, it doesn't really have anything to do with the Microsoft layoffs as far as I know. So yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Got enough political takes online. I mean, yeah, I mean, you can go watch us on Asmongold basically does politics all the time now. Hutch does politics. There's those younger kids that do politics. Like, there's plenty of if you want politics, there's plenty of people out there covering politics these days. I am not one of them because I don't know shit about politics. No, I don't want it. Yeah, well, we don't have to keep talking about it. Just using it as an example where, like, a lot of people seem upset about it, and I'm like, okay, I want to go read about the things that they're discussing. And I still don't really understand it. It's a lot to parse through. Like, just anyway, sorry, you kind of got my brain going on that now because, like, I read the section about Snap and yeah. Stop talking politics and tell me State of Decay 3 is safe. The only person that's like really getting any insider info is Jez Corden. And Jez is saying State of Decay 3 is fine. And he said the Kojima project is fine. Okay, Destin, parent question. How old is too young to play GTA? You want to talk kiddos? I don't really let my kids watch TV. They're 4 and 2. We will let them watch the iPad sometimes, but like for an hour max. That's like max. Anything more than an hour, it's like been a rough day, you know. But we give them specified time to watch the iPad, and they will watch Blippi. I think his name's Blippi. Anyway, yeah. So like, I don't game with my kids. I don't do any of that stuff, and well, it's more my wife. My wife believes in low screen time, especially when the kids are young. So we can introduce that when they're a bit older. But like, I don't play games with my kids or anything like video games. We play basketball and we go swimming and stuff. U of M student. Oh, like you're an actual student, right? W parent. Yes, people are like, why are you so stressed out all the time? It's like, because I don't give my kid a freaking iPad. Like they don't just sit on the iPad for 8 hours a day. They're like reading. Do they watch Miss Rachel? Daniel was into Miss Rachel for a bit. I think Nate's sort of at the age for Miss Rachel right now. What's one game you would want to remake or bring back any game if you could? I mean, it's already being worked on, but it's Mass Effect. But at the same time, oh, thanks, Blastoff. At the same time, um, like I would say Mass Effect, like remake Mass Effect, but I don't really trust anybody to remake anything anymore. I think we've been burned by so many shit remakes that I just like, who did it good? Who did it well? Capcom did the Resident Evil games and has done the Resident Evil games really, really well, right? I think the Ninja Gaiden remake was pretty good. The Elder Scrolls remake was pretty good, but for so long, man, like I'm a little worried about Delta. Some people have been analyzing Delta and they're talking about some of the facial animations. I'm like, yeah, man, they're right. Some of the faces in the game look freaking weird. Like the way that they're animated and some of the animations do look kind of odd. I do wonder if it's going to like actually come through in the gameplay. But yeah, Capcom remakes are pretty great. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, see, so I would always say the original Mass Effect 1 specifically. But I don't know. I don't know if they'd be able to pull it off. Trust in the market is really low at the moment. Layering with Baldur's Gate 3 was great, but that's not a remake. That was from the ground up. Yeah, so like they also made Andromeda and it was bad. Andromeda was not a great Mass Effect game. I played that game. I streamed that whole game, like, and I did every single little thing in it. I don't know what the fuck happened in that game. Like, I don't remember anything. Like, off the top of my head, you go to a planet with your dad dies, you have to fix the ship and go to all these planets to find resources so that the people can survive, and then you slowly wake up engineers and such so that you can colonize a planet. And then at the end, you beat the bad aliens. You get a call from the Quarians, and then like the rest of the fleets show up or something like that. But like, I know there's an Angaran who you can bang at some point. There's an annoying Jack wannabe in Andromeda. So yeah, it became a good game. It was horrible at launch and well into over a year after. Blast Up. I think there's interesting gameplay elements in the game, but overall, I'm kind of like, I'm pretty thumbs down on Andromeda. And then the people who did the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, like they're gone. I think Mac Walters one of the people. Yeah, and like the Angaran they look stupid. I don't know how to say that like in a nice way. The Angara race in the game, they look dumb. Like they don't look cool. Like just the way they're modeled and stuff. So yeah. I was really excited about Casey Hudson's project. But we have what's the other one? It starts with an E. Exile or something like that. Yeah, Mac Walters doesn't work at Bungie anymore. Marquise, sorry. A little tired. What the frick's the name of that game? It's like E. It starts with an E. X something. Okay, BioWare game Exodus. Exodus BioWare game. Have you guys... do you want to watch the Exodus game stuff? So, does this look like anything you've seen before? This is Exodus. This is made by like a whole bunch of former BioWare people. And I guess this is sort of fitting with the Anthem news. It's Mass Effect. It's Mass Effect. Here, we can watch the trailer really quick. When was this? So this is from 6 months ago.
Preparing to transfer now. This is your last chance to bail, June.
Do it. sleeping is a hell of a way to greet your new partner.
So you're June.
We're burning time. Now that we're all best of friends, let's make each other rich.
I'm not just here to look pretty.
I'm curious.
I've got away with celestial tech.
I mean, I'll just say it's enough to get me curious, right?
I see a lot of potential in this new
He's
partnership.
even got the Omni Blade.
Let me light the way for you.
Target acquired.
Many thanks again for your help.
You should have been honest.
This place is forbidden. The price is death.
That's what it means to be a traveler.
So that's Exodus. That's made by like all the BioWare people. They went two places. They went to Humanoid Origin, which is Casey Hudson's team, and they went to this team. And if you ask me, this looks like the spiritual successor to Mass Effect. There's no release date yet on it. It says Become the Traveler. It's coming to everything, basically. But there's no release date for the game. The latest trailer was... They're doing like... What are they doing? I'm a little surprised by this. They're doing like table reads? An Exodus story? I guess I'll show you what I'm looking at here. Like, I'm very confused by what... what? So this is a founder's Q&A video, sure. I don't think I would have had people cosplay... Wait. Who is that?
Hello, welcome back to another episode of Star Heist. I'm your host.
What? I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah. Colin Moriarty has predicted that teams will be assembled to make one game and then part ways, just like movies. He's right, Mr. Fox says. No, I thought it was Naomi Kyle for a second, but then I was like, what is going on? It's not. Yeah, they had me, and then they have these like table reads. I don't know what that's all about. They have a good thing going with the marketing. I wouldn't mess it up with something like a little too far out there, but I mean, they're going to do what they do. They did the gameplay reveal stream. That was 4 months ago with Cone Carnage. Her name is China? Cinna? Don't let Naomi hear you say no, in the little super tiny thumbnail. I thought it was Naomi for a second. When I'm like moused over it, but yeah. Gameplay was good in Anthem, but lots of other issues. Yeah, mainly with the storytelling. I don't have a lot else to chat about. I'm just like literally just hanging out, talking with chat. So we're kind of at the end of the stream. I think I'll just end it so that I can get a good night's rest. And if you haven't seen the bot yet, no news on Halo 5 making its way to PC. I just saw somebody say that. Go play Alters. I have it installed, but I want to like see. There's like 5 games, and it's a slow month right now. So like there's the Alters and stuff. I have that installed via Epic. Well, first of all, this is the second time I've done a late night stream. I'm probably not going to stream on the 4th. If I do, just make sure you're subscribed. What I might do tomorrow is I might just do gameplay stuff over on the gameplay channel. I'm going to be playing through more of Death Stranding. I am in Act 4. I got the kangaroo. Spoiler warning. Yeah, so that's where I am in that game. So yeah, the Alters is a gem. I'm going to do the outro and record it because I'm going to VOD out the 2 things that I covered at the beginning of the stream. If you watch the stream, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for the super chats, Danny, Red Eyed, Dojo, and the gifted for Diz Guy. Wait, is that a gifted? No, you're just a 5-time Prime. Thank you so much, Diz Guy. 5280, and I think that was all from this evening. Thank you kindly for the support and just hanging out watching the stream. I do appreciate it. So I'm going to record the outro here and then sign off. So yeah, good live stream. I'm going to go into host Destin so that I can have a good outro for those videos that I'm going to cut down a little bit. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider hitting that subscribe button, hitting that bell to know when my content goes live. Thank you kindly for doing so. Thank you so much to the members. I do greatly appreciate you supporting Christopher Rennie, Philoroni, Spingetter, and Aries EMS. Thank you so much, as well as everybody else who backs. If you want to back, you can click that join button down below to become a YouTube member, or go to patreon.com/SaveStatePlus. I'm going to get out of here, but if you want to see my previous video about the layoffs, you should, because it has even more important info as this story develops. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you for the next one. I lied. I just want to record the outro. What are we at for concurrence right now? I was sort of curious. Like, I don't look, but I think we did 500 tonight. Yeah, we're 391 because everybody thinks I signed up, but we tricked them. Only the real fans know that I was messing around. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see, because I can go in the back end here and just see how it's going. Yeah, good stream. We had a pretty good, yeah, we hit 520. Well, Nate's waking up, so that's probably a good time to sign off. I might stream some gameplay later if I'm like can't fall asleep. I'll go play some more Death Stranding. Thank you so much, everybody, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now.